friends, Liz here. I wanted to pop on and talk about headstands. Headstand is a really powerful asana, really powerful posture for us on so many levels. Physically, it is so beneficial to get upside down, to just decompress the body. So everything that normally carries the weight gets a little bit of a relief. And all the fluids and things in the legs that have to work so hard to come back up to the heart just get that advantage of gravity, helping to clear the lymph and the venous blood return. So it's a really beneficial posture. And similar to shoulder stand, it comes with some risks because you are on your head. So as I showed in the shoulder stand video, your vertebra that are meant to support weight are the lower vertebra, and they have been equipped with these big cartilage jelly-filled discs that help to disperse weight and absorb impact. Now, the vertebra in the neck are quite a lot smaller, and their discs are teeny tiny. So this tells us that these vertebrae were not made for load bearing. They weren't made for a lot of impact or anything like that. They're meant to just carry your head. And at the same time, you've got so many important vessels that branch out of the cervical spine, blood vessels as well as nerves. So we really don't want to mess around or compromise this area at all. It is so vital to our well-being. So for that reason, I do not encourage people to practice the tripod headstand, that, the teddy bear headstand where people basically make a little tripod and bring their elbows or their knees onto their elbows. I'm not even going to demo it fully because it's not something I practice, and it's something I do discourage people from practicing unless they have a really long time consistent practice and they're practicing under a knowledgeable teacher. Because when you are doing a tripod headstand, all of your weight is in your head, it's in your neck, like all of it. Maybe a couple pounds are in your arm, but really you're putting everything on your head. And as you can see, structurally, your neck is not made for that. So I teach the yogic style headstand. And the way you set up for that is you're going to take your elbows down onto the floor, and you're going to wrap your hands so they fully come around the outer edges of your arms. And then once you've measured that distance, you do not let the elbows slide wider. They stay that narrow. They don't go any wider. And then from there, you release the hands, you interlace the fingers. I always tuck this bottom pinky in just so I'm working on a really flat surface. That will go on the ground. So that is your foundation for your headstand. And what's going to happen is once you place your head and start going upside down, you press those forearms into the earth so that you are taking at least 80% of the weight into the arms. So down into the forearms, into the shoulders, into the upper back. You are not putting your weight on your head and neck. So there are stages to work into headstand. First stage is just to place the head on the floor. And this is really the big benefit of headstand on a spiritual level, is that it's about bringing this crown chakra, our connection to the heavens, to the earth. It's about bowing our highest vision and our sense of dharma or purpose. It's about bringing that to the earth. So it's this really strong symbolism of unity. So you're going to line up, wrap the hands, interlace the fingers. Don't let your elbows slip out wide. And then you just place the crown of the head on the floor. So I'm just pressing the top of my head right about here. That's where I'm touching the floor. And the hands are cradling the back of my head. The toes are tucked. And from there, I'm going to Option 1, stay exactly as I am. I might just stay here. Option 2, you might start to extend the legs up, almost like a down dog, and you can just practice pushing, building your strength, pushing your head away from the floor and lowering it down, because you have to build up the strength to support your body weight here. Over time, you might walk the toes in. You are never kicking into headstand, even if there's a wall behind you. Don't kick up because you might move sideways. You might draw one knee in. You might draw both knees in. And then you might start to stack the knees up over top of the hips. You might just stay there. Over time, the legs will extend up. Absorb the low ribs in. Sometimes the low ribs pop out. And press into the forearms. Minimize the weight in the head. And then as you're ready, you come down. So you might hold that as long as 25 breaths, as long as you can do so without putting a bunch of weight into the head and neck. After headstand, the counter pose is child's pose. And you breathe there at least 5 breaths. So, headstand, a really beautiful pose for so many physical and energetic reasons. But make sure you are not just putting a bunch of weight onto the cervical spine. Make sure you're setting up properly and that you are absorbing most of the weight into the arms, into the shoulder girdle. And it's really built for that. It's got the strength to support you. The body is held in one strong line, but you can always just start by placing the crown on the earth. And that is a really powerful gesture. So don't feel like you ever have to lift your legs up. All right. Let me know how that goes for you. I would love to hear from you. And take care. Enjoy playing with this posture. Take it lightly. Namaste.